everyone's going to have a coronavirus case. I can tell you for the city of Houston, I'm in a suburb. The city of Houston this week got one test kit and they can test between 200 and 500 people. Okay. Now, Houston is like the third biggest city in the United States. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm guessing if there's scattered cases and deaths related to it, and Italy is closed, like done. Mm-hmm. That by the time our administration admits that they screwed up, which they're starting to, they're saying the quarantine to stay home is 60 days. Now, the part where Bill thinks he's a doctor is it's going to take 6 weeks for everybody's symptoms to fully manifest and allow them to be tested. So 6 weeks is optimistic because, the healthcare system, it's not like you're going to be walking into Minute Clinic and they're going to say, oh, you've tested positive for the coronavirus. You're going to be in line at some hospital. It's going to be like, I don't know. It's like the Will Smith zombie movie, for God's sakes. Mm-hmm. So by the time the medical thing plays out, you're looking at 60 days before they have to shut everything down. So I'm thinking, 45 days for the medical thing to play out and 60 days at home.
Yeah, because I was actually talking to my parents about it as well. I mean, how do you tell people to stay home and not leave their homes for 60 days? I feel like it's almost impossible. People will just break the rules and go out. I mean, because imagine if you haven't fully bought everything to last you 60 days. Or maybe you run out of toilet paper after 30 days. People are going to go out.
Well, I mean, here's okay, so here's how I'm thinking this through. In Italy, in Europe, they queue. They're used to waiting in line, right? So we're going to go from a government underreaction to a government overreaction, right? So most likely big box retailers are going to be food distribution points. I'm sure FEMA will also get involved. I don't think they're going to let you die of thirst or starve. Okay. But I do think, as you said, Americans are going to break the rules. And I know we have an international audience. So there's a huge difference between a Chinese communist government that can just shut down whole cities and throw people in jail with an IV bag and call that a hospital, whereas they can't do that in the United States. Man. Or can they? Right?
I think so. Yeah, I think they can if they declare like martial law, maybe.
Right. But right. And so you are looking at martial law, I think. Right. In other words, if Ian's like, how do people stay in their house for 60 days? Like, what would make you stay in your house? Well, probably a giant army truck out on the street. Yeah. So I'm trying to stay away from something that looks like Godzilla's invading the city, mm-hmm. right? Where you see those scenes. But I'm phrasing it as we go from government underreaction to government overreaction. And I think that is what brings in crypto adoption, right? In other words, people are like, I don't know if PayPal is going to work. I don't know if my bank account's going to work. I don't know if I can get online, right? Mm-hmm. The Bitcoin Cash blockchain, the Ethereum blockchain is going to continue to function. So literally, Mr. Market may pick the next Bitcoin in the next 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So it's like the Kentucky Derby of crypto.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so when it's all going to go down 20%, if you pick the next winner, you are the 100x guy in the crypto universe. This may be your 100x shot.
And that we do like.
Right. When we like 100x, right? So, people are going to be afraid, right? As I said, when this started, I don't have to talk about the virus. I mean, we have to talk about how long we can disrupt the supply chain. What I did talk about is how the virus affects people's behavior. Right now, We joked about how much does it cost to feed a family of four. I saw some people in the grocery store the other day, and the woman had an entire shopping cart of detergent, giant bottles of detergent. And I was just wondering how she's going to eat the detergent for 90 days. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so people haven't like fully grasped how to react, and legacy markets, which have been lobotomized by the Fed printing money, are now returning to things where they can signal reality. You used to look at markets and go, should I go to the grocery store or not? Oh, let me check the oil market. Ooh, down 10%. Ooh, God. But, you know.
Yeah. So speaking of oil, just to kind of get off topic, I did see on Instagram somebody was saying that just based on how the markets are now getting crushed, if Russia really wanted to kind of stick a fork in the US, they would just, I think, jack up their oil pricing, something like that. So how would oil impact the economy, especially in countries affected by coronavirus?
Right. So, I mean, what I think that they can do, I mean, again, I don't know about Russia, but, you know, obviously the United States as an oil producer is hurting other countries, right? Now, if Saudi Arabia wanted to put half our oil industry in bankruptcy, they could just drive oil down to the cost of production at $20 or $15 and leave it there and watch our whole industry go bankrupt. Because our oil industry, like our break even is, I don't know, it's not $20 like Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think if Russia wanted to start something, they could make some sort of geopolitical or military move at the same time. Now, I mean, Donald Trump has certain skills, right? Most of them have to do with sort of talking and like entertainment value. He doesn't have experience as like a commander in chief, right? That's why I think you've had problems with the CDC. So if there's a problem with the Russians, it's going to be because they make some sort of geopolitical move. And this is even more tricky because it's on top of an election.
Okay.
So if somebody wants to punch the United States, either our oil industry or militarily, they're probably going to do it now.
All right. Okay, it seems we're having issues with the stream again. But maybe we can call it we can wrap up this segment here.
Right. I can wrap up my segment. I think with crypto, if you've got any dry powder, you can pick the next Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin drops far enough, fast enough, I think Bitcoin may also be a buy if something ridiculous happens.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.